our driver dropped the Lexus at your apartment last night. You'll find it in the usual spot downstairs. Wear some smart pants and that white linen shirt I gave you for Christmas. And for heaven's sake, don't be late. I've booked a table for 6. Charlotte is coming. She tells me her father is hiring. I think you're on your last chance with that lovely girl, son. Get a wiggle on and make sure you iron that shirt. She hangs up. Xander and I stare at each other frozen. My first instinct is to laugh. Who in the last 100 years, other than the Queen of England, refers to herself as mother? My next thought is anything but funny. Xander's mum has invited his ex-girlfriend to his welcome home lunch. The ex-girlfriend whose father owns a law firm where Xander's parents hope he'll land his first real job. I wish you'd told them about us, I say.
Let's talk about them later.
The phone rings again. Maybe Mother forgot to mention which shoes would look best with that shirt. This time, Xander doesn't wait for the answer phone. He leans over, grabs a cord, and yanks it out of the wall. I'm searching the kitchen for food that isn't past its expiry date while Xander shaves his sailor's beard. What are you going to tell your parents? I call, adopting a casual tone. It sounds like your mother thinks you and Charlotte are still together. Xander appears at the kitchen door, half-shaven.
You heard me on the phone to Mum back in Mexico. I told her I was single.
Is it Mum or Mother? Xander points at the fine china I've set out for coffee, as though it's the key to his mother's character.
Mum likes to pretend. She pretends we call her Mother. She pretends to be a member of some imaginary Australian aristocracy. She probably pretends to all her friends that Charlotte and I are still together. That Charlotte got off the yacht because of seasickness.
That is why Charlotte got off the yacht. When I met Xander, he was inches away from realizing his lifelong dream. He and Charlotte had recently finished university, and he'd spent a bequest from his grandfather on Joy, a small but sturdy yacht that the owners were selling for a song because nobody wanted to fly to a remote part of Mexico to buy a yacht. Xander and Charlotte did exactly that. They moved on board Joy and set off for Australia as a gap-year adventure. If Charlotte liked the lifestyle, they planned to save money, upsize the yacht, and sail around the world. But Charlotte did not like the lifestyle. After their maiden voyage down Mexico's west coast, she broke off their relationship, packed her things, and flew home. I met Xander drowning his sorrows in a village tavern. He considered pulling the plug on his adventure, but with cyclone season approaching, he couldn't leave Joy in Mexico. He was facing the daunting prospect of solo sailing all the way home. On a whim, I offered to join Xander on board. I'd never set foot on a yacht, but I'd been backpacking around Latin America for months, and this sounded like a more interesting way to get home than flying cattle class. It wasn't like I had anything to rush back to. My parents died in a freak storm in New Zealand when I was 4. After a year in foster care, I moved to a small town in Western Australia to live with Nana, my sole surviving relative. But she died of cancer when I was 16. For the past 6 years, I've moved around a lot. What gave me faith in Xander was that he was honest about the downsides of sailing, the uncertain time frame, and the discomfort of bad weather, even though his chances of finding another willing idiot were minuscule.
Charlotte and I broke up,
Xander says now.
She can't expect me to come crawling back. She sure won't after you turn up at this lunch. I can't wait to introduce you to the olds. They'll love you.
He runs a hand through my hair, as if to suggest his parents will adore it as much as he does.